Right. Welcome. So, Chinese spy balloon. Like, I know it's making the rounds lately. I know everybody's talking about it. I know everybody's, got their own take. I thought I'd just throw my less than 2 cents onto the pile. Really, nobody cares. But I want to talk about it. So, the question is, what did it do? First off, what did it do? It started in Alaska over the Aleutian Islands. Big white balloon up in the sky around 80,000 feet, so really high, actually. Um, and then it kind of went all the way down through Canada, all the way down through Canada without being seen. Now, it's hard to pick up on radar, these balloons, because they're not made out of metal, so they don't bounce those radar signals off them as well. And also, it's a very unpopulated part of Canada, Western Canada. There's not a whole lot of people that live there. But we all know Canada's in China's pocket. So whether they saw it or not, who knows? Whether we saw it coming or not, who knows? There's a big chunk of this country that's in Canada and China's pocket too. So who knows? But it went all the way through Canada and then was finally sighted over Montana, over Billings, Montana. Biggest, most populous city in Montana at the moment, I think, although Western Montana is catching up to it a little bit, but it was sighted over Billings, Montana, which is relevant because there are a tremendous amount of nuclear silos in that vicinity, right? So it went right over a perfect spot to, I don't know, maybe put out some sort of electronic magnetic pulse device that would disable nuclear silos. Who knows? And then it was proceeded to go all the way across the country, across the continent even. I mean, it started up in Alaska and it ended up outside of the Carolinas where it was finally destroyed. So that's pretty much the continent. About as wide a swath of the continent as you could possibly get, unless you go all the way from the north down to the south. So this thing did everything it wanted to do without us doing anything about it, which is freaky in my opinion. So what do we say compared to what the CCP says? And I have a hard time believing anybody at this point, but our government, our military, says that it was a spy balloon collecting recon data. They say that I don't know, but propaganda can lie. They tell you things in order to get you to do things, and blah 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 blah. The cycle continues. However, the CCP said that it was a civilian weather balloon that got off course, and the CCP lies. They are liars. They're a bunch of little liar pants, right? Communists lie. That's their MO, right? They have no morals. They have no integrity. They lie to get what they want. They're psychopaths, right? So because the CCP is denying it's a spy balloon, which, of course they would, and saying that it's a civilian weather balloon, I'm inclined to believe that it was a recon balloon. Absolutely. Now, another big question that everybody's talking about is, why did it get so much attention? Why was our media covering this like crazy? Why was our military covering this like crazy? Other than the obvious fact that a hostile nation had a reconnaissance device that was able to penetrate our airspace. Other than that, frankly, I think the media, the military, the deep state, they are hyping this thing up to increase tensions with China because it benefits them mostly in their cash drawers. Also, there's an election coming up, a contested election. They'd love to have a multi-front war going on so that, they can try to maintain power. It's not often that sitting presidents are unelected during active wars. Although, it's not likely Biden's going to run anyway, but the party behind him, the people actually pulling the strings, they don't want to get dethroned. So they're going to try to amp this stuff up as much as they possibly can in order to increase political exposure, right? In order to enrich the profits of the military-industrial complex through some new future Cold War. And I don't think that these things are overly planned out. I don't think they were meeting with China and saying, hey, you should send a balloon over to help us out. These people, they react more than they predict, right? These megalomaniacs have a goal in mind, and then they use stimulus, they use impetus, and shape it to fit their goal, right? Another reason it's getting so much attention, like I mentioned before, it's infringing upon our airspace. Basically, it will. And we didn't do anything about it, which I think there are actually fairly good reasons why we didn't do anything about it, which I'll get to later. But they were, like I said, they were able to traverse the entire continent without having any active measures being put onto this thing. So it's worrisome. It's worrisome. And it's this is funny too. They put in some Trump nonsense. Of course, they've got to make it political. Of course, they've got to use it to their advantage in the political war. And they said that he allowed two balloons, not just one like we did, but two balloons to enter our airspace during his presidency. But they only found out about that on Monday. They only found out about that when everybody was talking about the balloons. And then all of a sudden they discovered that Trump, he allowed more. Yeah, okay. They said they didn't know till after his presidency. So a media that went out of their way to destroy this man just ignored a balloon. They ignored hostile enemies encroaching upon our airspace because, I don't know. There's no good reason for it, which is why it's bullcrap. I don't know. They're liars. Blatant deep state PR. That's what it is. They're trying to make this situation, and they're trying to turn it to their political advantage. They're trying to turn it to their monetary advantage, right? And again, like I said, communists lie. And our deep state, the unelected bureaucrats that control government policy, they're communists, right? Anyway, now this is interesting too. There's a second balloon. And I don't think a lot of people are talking about this. I don't think a lot of people know about this, but there is a second balloon currently floating over South America. It was over Colombia the last time I checked, but it might have moved its way into Brazil or somewhere like that. Why? Why did they send a balloon to South America as well? There's a few reasons. I'm not really sure. In fact, this is a good point to put a comment down in there, because I don't really know why they sent a balloon to South America. I can guess, and I will guess in a bit, but if you guys throw in your ideas, I'll be able to help, manifest a better picture in my head about what's actually going on. So please tell me what you think. But blown off course. It's the first option. Could have been blown off course. It could have tried to scope the southern United States as the other one did the north. And there's a lot of good reasons for why they would want to scope the southern United States, especially Nevada. Nevada has a tremendous amount of military infrastructure within it. And if they were planning to position some balloons in order to detonate a crippling EMP attack, Montana and their nuclear bases, Nevada and their military bases would be two very prime spots. So it could have gotten blown off course and could just be heading south, even though they wanted it to be further north up in the southern United States. It's a possibility. They could be reconning South America for an attack on South America, which is a lot easier than attacking the United States and a lot less with a lot less political backlash. The United States is just waiting for a reason to turn on Canada right now, or China. God dang it, I get those two mixed up all the time. Why do I do so? It's so weird. It's not like they're the same thing. I don't know. But anyway, there's reasons for attacking South America. One would be it's a possible southern attack vector on the United States. They're not going to be able to take over Mexico because most of Mexico's immigrants are living in America illegally, right? America is almost a proxy state to Mexico at this point. Mexico is actually pretty based. They're pretty cool. So they're wanting to increase their power, wanting to increase their influence in South America, which would allow them to get a foothold below us, as they already have a foothold above us with the whole China-Canada connection. I don't know if I mentioned that. Did I mention that? Well, anyway, China's and Canada, they're buddies. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but anyway. Also, it's a resource-rich continent with tremendous political instability. Thank you, CIA. But anyway, there's a tremendous political instability in South America. There's a tremendous amount of resources. The Chinese are already infiltrating it with military bases, police stations. They're buying up a bunch of land. They're sending a lot of their expats over there, which really aren't expats. They're kind of current pats. They're spies, basically, who are owning a bunch of communities, a bunch of companies all over South America. So they are infesting it at the moment. So it could be a resource-rich, politically unstable area for the Chinese to exploit. Absolutely. So I kind of covered this, but why is this a big deal other than an infringement upon our sovereign airspace, which in itself is a big deal. And they wanted us to think that they didn't blow it up because they were worried about civilian casualties. Civilian casualties. Have you been to eastern Montana? There's nobody there. There's nobody there. Nobody there. There's a pocket of 3,000 people here, and then 250 miles away there's another pocket of 3,000 people, right? And all between them are cows. There's like 20 cows for every one person in Montana. It's incredible. So if they had come out and said, hey, we don't want to blow up this thing, we don't want to hurt any cows, that'd have been more plausible than civilian damages, property damages, that kind of stuff. There's no property in Montana. It's all ranch land. It's garbage. It's silly. But the reason I think they didn't blow it up over our soil is because they were worried about setting off whatever device that balloon may have contained. So if it did contain some sort of EMP device, the Chinese see the Americans scrambling jets, they see an attack imminent upon it, maybe they just set it off, which is unlikely in my opinion. China's much too patient for that. They are patient as hell, and they don't want to risk the infiltration they've already pulled off, the successful kind of deep state buggery they've already put over on us. They're everywhere. Like I said, we're infested. But could have also been a recon to test responses, which is very likely that they're just seeing how far they can push us, just like with Taiwan, seeing how far they can push before we push back, that type of thing, and in preparation for another attack down the road, possibly setting off eastern or EMP devices on our western flank as a preemptive strike to them invading Taiwan, that type of thing. So they will cripple our response to the Taiwan invasion and have a higher likely of ending it quickly, which is, they need to end it quickly. They can't get into a war of attrition on Taiwan like we've gotten into on Ukraine. And again, so much of our government, so much of our corporate structure is beholden to the CCP. So that's another reason why they may not have wanted to blow it up, why they wanted to wait for a while and take it out over the ocean and let the Chinese complete their recon mission so they can get everything they want. These are all just possibilities. I'm not saying anything for definite, but man, it sure is a worrisome situation, and they are accomplishing their goal. The media and the military and industrial complex are accomplishing their goal of getting us to focus on this, getting us to worry about this, getting us to otherize China and see them as the enemy, conveniently at the point where a whole bunch of classified documents of Joe Biden's were put onto the scene. A lot of Hunter Biden stuff is starting to come out that a lot of us were talking about 2.5 years ago. Maybe it's a distraction. Like I said, they don't necessarily plan every single act that comes up, but they do use these acts that come up to their advantage. They morph them and twist them, right? It's something, strategy you learn in trading. It's a strategy you learn in poker, chess, all these things is that you try to predict a likely outcome, but the more important thing is to react to what's going on and turn it to your advantage, which these guys are doing really well. So anyway, like I said, I'm not overly sure about why they're putting balloons over South America. It could be exactly the same thing why they're doing that to us. I'd like to hear what you guys think, and then I can get a better idea about what's going on. But yeah, that's all I have for the moment. Chinese spy balloon. Have fun. See you later.